Inflation is a rise in prices, which means that one unit of money buys fewer goods and services than before. Inflation reduces the purchasing power of money and makes it harder for people to afford the things they need. Inflation is measured by the rate at which the average price level of a basket of selected goods and services increases over a period of time. There are different causes of inflation, but one common factor is the demand and supply of money. When the money supply grows faster than the economic output, there is more money chasing fewer goods and services, which pushes up their prices. This is called demand-pull inflation. Another cause of inflation is when the cost of production increases due to higher wages, taxes, or raw materials. This makes the producers raise their prices to cover their costs. This is called cost-push inflation. A third cause of inflation is when people expect prices to rise in the future and start buying more goods and services now, which increases the current demand and prices. This is called built-in inflation. Inflation affects the prices of food in various ways. Food is a basic necessity that people need to survive, so the demand for food is relatively stable and does not change much with income or price changes. However, the supply of food can vary depending on factors such as weather, crop yields, transportation costs, trade policies, and subsidies. When the supply of food decreases or the cost of production increases, the prices of food go up. This can happen due to natural disasters, wars, pandemics, or climate change that affect the availability and quality of food. On the other hand, when the money supply increases or the economic growth slows down, the general price level of all goods and services goes up. This means that people have less money to buy food and other necessities, which lowers their standard of living. One way to fight inflation and save money is to cook vegetable dishes at home. Vegetables are cheaper than meat and other animal products, which are more affected by inflation due to higher feed costs and environmental regulations. Vegetables are also healthier and more nutritious than processed foods, which are often high in sugar, salt, fat, and additives that can harm your health and increase your medical expenses. Cooking at home can also help you avoid spending money on eating out, delivery fees, or tips that can add up quickly. Cooking at home can also be a fun and creative activity that can improve your mood and mental well-being. By cooking vegetable dishes at home, you can reduce your food expenses, increase your health benefits, and enjoy your meals more. You can also help reduce your environmental impact by choosing locally grown and organic vegetables that have lower carbon footprints and pesticide residues than imported and conventional ones. Cooking vegetable dishes at home can be a simple and effective way to fight inflation and save money in these challenging times. Vegetables are not only good for your health, but also for your wallet. Cooking vegetable dishes at home can help you save money and fight inflation. In this section, we will show you some easy and nutritious vegetable dishes that you can make with common ingredients. One of the easiest and most versatile vegetable dishes is roasted vegetables. You can use any vegetables you have on hand, such as potatoes, carrots, squash, Brussels sprouts, onions, etc. Just chop them into bite-sized pieces, toss them with some oil, salt, pepper, and herbs of your choice, and spread them on a baking sheet. Roast them in a preheated oven at 200 degrees Celsius for 25 to 35 minutes, or until they are tender and browned. You can enjoy them as a side dish or add some protein like cheese, eggs, or beans to make a complete meal. Another simple and delicious vegetable dish is stir-fried vegetables. You can use any vegetables you like, such as broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, peppers, mushrooms, etc. Cut them into uniform pieces and heat some oil in a large skillet over high heat. Add some garlic, ginger, soy sauce, vinegar, sugar, and cornstarch to make a quick sauce. Stir-fry the vegetables in batches until crisp tender, adding more oil if needed. Serve them over rice or noodles for a satisfying and healthy dinner. If you want to make a hearty and comforting vegetable dish, try making a vegetable soup or stew. You can use any vegetables you have on hand, such as celery, carrots, potatoes, tomatoes, beans, corn, etc. Sauté some onion and garlic in a large pot over medium heat until soft. Add some vegetable broth or water and bring to a boil. Add your vegetables and season with salt, pepper, bay leaf, thyme, or any other spices you like. Simmer until the vegetables are soft and the soup is thickened. You can also blend some of the soup to make it creamier or add some cream or cheese for extra richness. One more easy and nutritious vegetable dish that you can make with common ingredients is a vegetable salad. You can use any fresh or cooked vegetables you like, such as lettuce, spinach, cucumber, tomato, avocado, beetroot, etc. Chop them into bite-sized pieces and toss them with some dressing of your choice. You can make your own dressing by whisking together some oil, vinegar or lemon juice, salt, pepper, honey or sugar, mustard or mayonnaise, and herbs of your choice. You can also add some nuts, seeds, cheese, or boiled eggs to your salad for more protein and crunch. These are just some of the easy and nutritious vegetable dishes that you can make with common ingredients to fight inflation by cooking at home. Vegetables are not only good for your health but also for your wallet. Try these recipes today and enjoy the benefits of eating more vegetables. Storing and preserving vegetables properly can help you save money and avoid wasting food. Different vegetables have different storage requirements, depending on their type and freshness. In this section, we will show you some tips and tricks on how to keep your vegetables fresh for weeks. First, let's talk about how to store vegetables in the fridge. The fridge is a good place to keep most vegetables, especially leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, stem vegetables, and some roots, tubers, and bulbs. However, you need to pay attention to the temperature, humidity, and ethylene gas in your fridge. The ideal temperature for your fridge is between 33 and 40 F. You should also use the crisper drawers if you have them, and adjust them to high humidity for most vegetables. High humidity helps prevent your vegetables from drying out and wilting. Ethylene gas is a natural substance that some fruits and vegetables produce as they ripen. It can speed up the ripening and decay of other produce that is sensitive to it. For example, apples and bananas emit ethylene gas, while lettuce and broccoli are sensitive to it. To avoid this problem, you should store ethylene-producing fruits and vegetables separately from ethylene-sensitive ones. You can also use special bags or containers that absorb or filter out ethylene gas. Another tip is to wrap your vegetables in plastic or store them in sealed containers before putting them in the fridge. This helps retain moisture and protect them from ethylene gas. However, some vegetables need air circulation and should not be wrapped in plastic. These include mushrooms, eggplants, peppers, cucumbers, zucchini, and summer squash. Some vegetables that you should store in the fridge are asparagus. Trim the ends and stand them upright in a jar with an inch of water. Cover loosely with a plastic bag and change the water every few days. Broccoli. Wrap loosely in plastic or perforated bags and store in the crisper drawer. Brussels sprouts. Remove any yellow or wilted leaves and store in a plastic bag in the crisper drawer. Cabbage. Keep whole heads unwrapped in the crisper drawer. Cut pieces should be wrapped tightly in plastic. Carrots. Cut off the green tops and store in a plastic bag or container with a damp paper towel. Cauliflower. Wrap loosely in plastic or perforated bags and store in the crisper drawer. Celery. Wrap tightly in aluminum foil or plastic wrap and store in the crisper drawer. Garlic. Store whole bulbs in a cool, dark, dry place. Peel only when needed. Green beans. Store unwashed in a plastic bag or container with a damp paper towel. Kale. Wrap loosely in paper towels or a cloth and store in a plastic bag or container. Lettuce. Wash and dry thoroughly and store in a salad spinner or a plastic bag with paper towels. Onions. Store whole onions in a cool, dark, dry place. Peel only when needed. Potatoes. Store whole potatoes in a cool, dark, dry place. Do not wash until ready to use. Spinach. Wash and dry thoroughly and store in a salad spinner or a plastic bag with paper towels. Squash. Store hard squash like winter, acorn, spaghetti, and butternut in a cool, dark, dry place. Store soft squash like zucchini and summer squash unwrapped in the crisper drawer. Next, let's talk about how to preserve vegetables for longer-term storage. Preserving vegetables can help you enjoy them throughout the year, even when they are out of season. There are many methods of preserving vegetables, such as freezing, canning, drying, pickling, fermenting, and salting. Freezing is one of the easiest ways to preserve vegetables for winter. Almost all vegetables are suitable for freezing, with the exception of cabbage and potatoes, which tend to become limp and waterlogged. To freeze vegetables, you need to blanch them first. Blanching is a process of briefly boiling or steaming vegetables to stop enzyme activity that causes spoilage. After blanching, you need to cool them quickly in ice water to prevent overcooking. Then you can drain them well and pack them into freezer bags or containers. Label them with the date and use within a year. Canning is another way to preserve vegetables for long-term storage. Canning involves heating food in jars to kill bacteria and create a vacuum seal that prevents spoilage. There are two types of canning: water bath canning and pressure canning. Water bath canning is suitable for high-acid foods like tomatoes, pickles, jams, and jellies. Pressure canning is required for low-acid foods like beans, corn, carrots, and peas. Canning requires special equipment like jars, lids, rings, and canners. You also need to follow specific recipes and instructions to ensure safety and quality. Drying is a method of preserving vegetables by removing moisture that allows bacteria to grow. Drying can be done using an oven, a dehydrator, or the sun. Dried vegetables can be stored in airtight containers in a cool, dark, dry place. They can be rehydrated by soaking them in water or adding them to soups and stews. Pickling is a method of preserving vegetables by soaking them in vinegar, salt, sugar, and spices. Pickling adds flavor and acidity to vegetables, which inhibits bacterial growth. Pickled vegetables can be stored in jars in the fridge or canned for longer shelf life. Fermenting is a method of preserving vegetables by allowing beneficial bacteria to convert sugars into acids and gases. Fermenting enhances flavor and nutrition of vegetables, as well as creating probiotics that support digestive health. Fermented vegetables include sauerkraut, kimchi, and sourdough bread. They can be stored in jars in the fridge or at room temperature. Salting is a method of preserving vegetables by drawing out moisture and creating an unfriendly environment for bacteria. Salting can be done by sprinkling salt over chopped vegetables and letting them sit until they release their juices, or by packing them into salt brine. Salted vegetables include olives, capers, and cheese. They can be stored in jars in the fridge or at room temperature. These are some of the ways you can store and preserve your vegetables for longer shelf life and reduce food waste. By following these tips and tricks, you can enjoy fresh, delicious, and nutritious vegetable dishes at home any time of the year.